That is 60 miles an hour at the top of a slightly short, slightly uphill on-ramp. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dietrich, and today we are taking a highway test drive in a 2024 Nissan Kicks S. This is the base model. However, all new Nissan Kicks models come with the same 122 horsepower, 1.6 liter four-cylinder engine and Xtronic CVT transmission. So when you see a relatively low horsepower figure like that on the page, you may be wondering, hey, I have to drive on the freeway a lot for my commute. Does this car have enough power to get on the freeway and maintain highway speeds? And I'm here to report to you that yes, it does. The engine makes a little bit of noise while doing it. I'm at maybe 60% throttle right now, and I am easily keeping up with highway speeds on the feral Southern California on the feral Southern California freeways is what I meant to say, that I often navigate. No problem exceeding the posted speed limit, which is necessary around here if you're going to keep up with traffic. And overall, this car has actually exceeded my expectations as to what it's like to drive. Nissan is kind of a funny company because they've definitely worked hard to make themselves kind of the value leader amongst the Japanese car brands, even really Asian car brands in general. But they still have a sporting streak. You know, this is still the same company that built all kind of Skyline GTRs and Fairlady Zs, and, you know, didn't they put the Skyline driveline in the Juke at one point? As I don't know if they got drunk one night and decided to do that. So anyway, they haven't completely abandoned their sporting pretensions, even in this very mass market, very inexpensive car. The steering is decent, the handling is decent. The ride is not bad. You feel the road that may be coming through on the video, but it's not harsh. And I would say that I'll just admit that my expectations were relatively low before I drove this car. And I've put about 100 miles on it so far, and it has exceeded my expectations. It's a nice car to drive. It feels stronger than the 122 horsepower power rating would suggest. I know people on the internet love to hate on CVT transmissions, but I do give the Xtronic CVT some of the credit here because it does a good job keeping the engine in the power band and making the most of what power is there. And overall, it's a nice car. You know, people buy these teeny tiny SUVs because they don't need a big car or they don't have a big budget, but they still want to be sitting up higher. And I've driven several of them lately, and you definitely feel like you're sitting up tall in this Nissan Kicks. I'd say more so than the Hyundai Kona that I drove last week, or even the Subaru Crosstrek that I drove the week before that. This one gives you kind of more of that SUV seating feel that I think so many people are going for. So that's definitely going to be a big selling point. And it is cheap. I mean, this thing's like 23 grand, and it's missing plenty of features, but the main thing they focused on, which I think is pretty smart, is the safety stuff. It has blind spot monitors, it has forward collision alert, it has emergency braking, it has lane departure warning, it has rear parking sensors and rear automatic braking and rear cross traffic alert. To get all of those features at this relatively low price point is really laudable on Nissan's part to not make any of that stuff optional. And I think that if you have a new driver in the family, you know, 16, 17-year-old getting their license, looking for a first car for them, and you are in the market to buy them a new car, but you don't want to spend a ton of money on it, I mean, this is an excellent choice because you have these kind of active safety features that may help your new driver avoid an accident. And it has enough power to get where it needs to be, but it doesn't have the kind of power that's going to encourage your, let's be honest, teenage boy to do something stupid. And It's a practical little car. I imagine the insurance probably wouldn't be that much because it has a small engine and all the safety features. Nah. The Nissan Kicks, the Kicks S. They really make a car called the Kicks S. That joke, I'm not even going to make it because I don't need to. It writes itself. I mean, Kicks rhymes with a nickname for a man named Richard, and just the letter S, pronouncing S, it's really not that far off from a nickname from a donkey. So if I had one of these in my household, and even in the time I was driving it around yesterday and I drove it to work and gave a couple of my coworkers rides in it back and forth to the employee parking lot. So yeah, we were joking around about it. The Nissan Kicks S, the best value in subcompact SUVs. You could actually make the argument that this probably is the best value in subcompact SUVs just because it's one of the least expensive ones and it has so many safety features, you know. The Kona that I drove last week was a limited, and that thing was so cool because it looked so cool and it had so many awesome features, but you know, it's 10 grand more expensive than this one, and that's a big price jump. I drove a base model Subaru Crosstrek before that. You could argue the Crosstrek base model does have excellent value as well. It is like a few $1,000s more than this is, but you get all-wheel drive. You get overall probably a slightly more capable car. You get most of the safety features that this one has, including adaptive cruise control, which this car doesn't have. But, you know, that Crosstrek didn't have the rear parking sensors. It didn't have blind spot monitors. It didn't have rear cross traffic alert. It didn't have rear automatic braking. So it was missing some stuff that this has, and it was more money. And all I could do to make fun of the name on the Crosstrek is call it the Crosstech, because when I sold Subarus for many years, I had so many customers screw the name up and come in and asking to look at a Crosstech that I just decided I like Crosstech better. So I go, oh yeah, no problem. The Crosstechs are right over here, sir. Actually, it was usually ma'am. Those cars were typically bought by the ladies. The one thing that I think probably really does hold this Nissan Kicks back in the marketplace is the way it looks, because like I know for like Subaru Crosstrek buyers, the looks were so important. For some reason, they all said that car looked really sporty, which I never got, but that was like a big drawing point. Like that was what caught their attention first, and then they look at the rest of the car. Honestly, to my eye, this Nissan Kicks is not a good looking vehicle. It's kind of dumpy and frumpy from the outside, but I don't know, maybe some people like how it looks, or maybe if they're on a budget, they don't care. From the inside, it's okay. I mean, it looks kind of outdated in here, but again, it's an inexpensive car, so you're not going to get the latest and greatest tech. I don't know if it's showing up on the rear view mirror, but the orange light right there is the blind spot monitor. I don't know if it's showing up on the rear view mirror. I don't know if it's showing up in my camera. But yeah, this car's perfectly fine to drive on the highway. It has enough power. It doesn't have a surplus of power, but it has enough. The ride's fine. It's easy to see out of. You got all the blind spot monitors and everything. This car has exceeded my expectations. I've been very happy with the Nissan Kicks. And if you have one of these cars, leave me a comment. Let me know how you like it. If you like my video, please hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.